everybody. Welcome to Fit for Life. My name is Anna. Let's get up and get moving. Start off with our warm-up. So like I said, welcome to Fit for Life. My name is Anna. I'm a kinesiologist, exercise specialist for the Aspen Primary Care Network here in Westlock. We used to run this class here in person at the Spirit Center, but unfortunately with COVID, we're not able to get together. So we're doing our best to stay feeling our best, even while doing our best, stay feeling our best, even while we're at home. So let's get up, let's get warmed up. Keep in mind that participation with this video is, of course, at your own risk. And by participating with this video, you understand that there is inherent risk with any kind of physical activity. So please stay safe while you're at home. Do what feels best for you. The Aspen Primary Care Network is not liable for any damages or injuries that might be incurred during this video. So make sure you pay attention to what your body's telling you. If something doesn't feel quite right, just take a break, wait until the next one. You're free to always, of course, contact the office, ask any questions, or see how you can get a one-on-one referral set up. That's all good too. Stay safe while you're at home. My number one rule remains the same, no falling. So please, you guys, just take care while you're doing these exercises. We're just gonna be using a TheraBand today. And of course, if you don't have one at home, you can come by the office here and pick one up. You can get them online pretty easy. They're not too tough to find. Nice high knees here. And let's do our polka. I'm going to try and make sure I'm somewhat on time today. We've got the sun shining in my conference room. It's warm in here today. I always film these. I record these a few days before I post them. So I hope on the day that this is posted, the sun is shining as well. It's sure nice to have that outside. Nice and light on our toes for our polka. Feeling like everything is starting to warm up there. Our breath gets a little quicker. Our heart rate gets going a little bit. Remembering our intensity for aerobic exercise like walking or dancing or swimming is that we want to be able to carry on a conversation. I want you to be able to talk and not sing. If you feel like you can still belt out a tune pretty good here, we need to pick a faster polka. Okay, good. Let's do some hip swings. Nice. Have your chair there for balance if you need it. Try not to be kicking anything in your house. And let's do the other side. Got good supportive footwear on so you're not slipping in your house while we're doing our exercises. Nice joint lubrication going on here with our hip swings. Feels good. Okay, let's do our shoulder circles. Starting small, getting bigger, and getting smaller again. Good job. Switch side or switch directions. Getting bigger. Wonderful. And getting smaller again. Nice and warm through the upper body. Nice and warm through the lower body. Okay. So we're going to start out. My board here is a little two-tone today because I'm starting to run out of juice on my markers there. So we're going to start out today with a 3-point lunge. So that means we're going to be lunging in 3 different directions. We're not going to necessarily go super deep on any of these. I want you to have your chair close by for balance should you need it. we're going to start off with a forward lunge. So take a big step to the front. We're going to come on down as far as you're comfortable. Coming on back, lunging to the side, and coming on back. And then I want you to think about taking a step back. I'm running into my wall here. We're going to take a step back and think about shifting that weight onto this back leg and sinking down a little bit. You might not get very far, and that's okay. So let's come to the front and to the side and to the back. Thinking about that sinking down in through the hip. Okay, very careful and slow with that back one because it is putting the leg in a bit of a vulnerable position. So really thinking about how comfortable you are coming down like that. Okay, forward and side and back. Okay, forward and side and back. Lunges are really cool because the more we do practice them, the better they get. They do get easier. I know they can be a pain, and I know that our knees can scream a little bit when we do them, but if we're doing them properly, they should improve, and that pain should improve as well. We should be seeing less and less of that. So if you are having pain in your knee, just really check your form, especially on that forward one, making sure that you're not lunging forward. We're stepping forward, but we're coming down, okay? And then side, really thinking about sticking our butt back like we do our squats. That back one, you're only coming down a little bit. Let's switch sides. Make sure I've got enough room in my little corner here. So coming forward and to the side and doing that step back. Whoop. I'm gonna make sure I have my chair there. Forward and to the side and stepping back, sinking that butt down. Okay, forward and to the side and stepping back. Really challenging those different directions here. If we do these kinds of challenges in a nice controlled setting like this, our body's going to be able to respond that much better when we're out in real life and there's real challenges that are unpredictable, right? If you're in the grocery store and you have to quickly step to the side or something like that. And back. All right, let's do a couple more. Forward and to the side and back. One last round here. You can see how careful and slow I am with especially that back one. To the side and coming back. Really thinking about syncing with my hips there. Good job. All right, we're going to do a one-arm shoulder press. So you're going to take your band. I like to hold it kind of to my abdomen. Starting with my hand up at that shoulder. We're just doing a nice punch up in the air here. Now, if you have problems with your rotator cuff, you might want to keep it a little bit lower. That's fine. You could do a punch out. You could do a punch to the side. You're able to do that punch up. That's great. Making sure you're still breathing. It's really warm in this conference room, you guys. Nicely done. Let's switch sides. Holding to your abdomen, starting at the shoulder. Up we go. Making sure when you're doing this that your posture is still very good for a nice and straight in through the back, and you're not punching that shoulder up to your ear. All right, make sure those shoulders stay down where they're supposed to be. Good job. Okay, wonderful. Next one we're going to do is a standing side leg raise. So I like to hold onto the chair here. We're going to stand nice and straight. We're going to bring that leg out to the side, pause at the top, and come on back in. Out, pause, slowly down. If we start to rush things here, and we're just doing this because, you know, you were told to do it 10 times, and so you're going to do it like that. Things that happen when I do that. The momentum is making it easier. I'm not using the same stabilizers for the hip. I'm also putting myself into the position where my butt starts to stick out, and that's going to make it a lot easier as well. I want you to really focus on having good straight hips, and we're coming out to the side, pause, and coming on back. No cheating, even when you're at home and I can't see what you're doing. Try your best here. Pause and come on down slowly. And try not to do the teapot tipping here, all right? And let's do the other side. Nice, good position of the hips. I can feel this side right away a little bit more because I was just using that side to balance. Make sure your toes keep pointing nicely forward and that this foot is not starting to come out to the side like that. As we start cheating and using those hip flexors, they do enough work. Let's activate that side butt, gluteus medius, and really get good work in through the hips there. Try to stay nice and even through the hips. Don't stick your tush out, okay? None of that. Stay nicely tailbone tucked underneath you, nice, okay? Try your best to pause at the top and come on back down. Good. And we feel that start to burn on both sides here. We're gonna do a couple more. And let's do one more for good measure. And relax. Good job. Okay, the next one we're going to do with the band or without a band is going to be a standing hamstring curl. So if I'm doing this with a band, I kind of just step on my free sides and I loop my foot through there. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. I step on my free edges here. Now, important thing here is that your knee stays pointing down, so I hope you guys can see well with my light shining through the blinds here. But we're going to keep the knee pointing down. We're not drawing it forward, and we're going to curl that hamstring as we bring that heel towards our bum. Now, the band, if the band is too tough for you, do it without a band. We want to be really careful with these hamstring curls because a lot of us are very weak in through the hamstrings and we can get cramps back here very quickly and very easily. This is a great exercise if you have any cuff weights lying around at home. A lot of people have what are called ankle weights or cuff weights as they don't really know what to do with them. So this is a wonderful little exercise to use a cuff weight for. Making sure that we try our best to keep that knee pointing down and it's not drawing forward like that. All right, that's not what we're going for. Keep it kind of glued to your other knee. All right, let's do the other side. Turn around to give you guys a side view here. And I'm standing on my free tails of my band there. You don't have to do this exercise with a band. If you're not at that point, that's okay. Keeping your knees nicely together and curl. Try to pause at the top again, just like we did with our other one. And try to slow that release. Really good benefits from that controlled eccentric contraction, right? You guys better watch out. I'll send out a quiz to see if you remember all my fancy words. Eccentric contraction. We're having to control that contraction, but the muscle is in the process of lengthening rather than shortening when we bring it up. Nice squeeze in through here. Good job. Do a few more. And last one here. Good job. Again, the main thing with that one, if you're doing that on your own, this is really helpful for people with knee pain, but try not to be bringing that knee forward. You can do this without a band and just practice curling that heel towards the bum. Giving a nice movement there. Okay? We're going to do some quick chair squats before we sit down. So, lining up nicely with our chair. You guys should be getting pretty good at these. Feet are a little bit wider than hip width apart. Toes are pointing relatively forward. And we're going to just touch our bum to the chair and standing back up. Now, if you're not at that point, if your knees aren't happy here, you can do a full sit to stand. Try doing this still without the use of your hands. If you do need them, that's okay. Or you can do just a quarter squat where you come down just halfway. The important thing is that you're really aiming with your bottom and that we are really reaching back. You can see how nicely my knees don't go drifting over my toes. Like if I'm doing this squat, that's going to give me knee pain and I don't want that. So I'm going to really reach for the chair with my tush and stand up nicely together. This is going to really work on developing that leg strength and protect me from getting my knees hurt. All right, form is so important. Good posture. And really stand up all the way. Don't just hover with your butt out back here. I want you to do the touch and stand on up. Okay? And we can sit down. We're going to grab our band. Use some seated clamshells. We're not done with these hips yet. I'm going to wrap that band around my knees, just above the knees, I guess. I'm going to work one side at a time here. So I'm going to hold it on this leg, and this leg is going to stay put. I'm not going to be moving this side. I'm going to move this side. So I'm going to keep my feet together, and I'm going to open that knee out to the side and coming on back in slowly. And out and coming in. And you can tighten up that band a little bit if you need to. Bring that one knee out, coming on back in. Working some a lot smaller hip rotators here. Good job. I believe you have 7 muscles in the hip that do this external rotation. I'm correct. Might need to look back over my anatomy notes before I go telling you guys things like that. I think there's 7 of them. Pause at the outside and come on in. Seated clamshells. Let's do the other side. Wrapping that band around. This leg is now going to stay put, and we're going to keep our feet together and rotating out. Trying to sit nice and straight and thinking about this movement coming from your butt, okay? A lot of people think about where's the knee going, but I want to think about what's happening in this joint here up in the hip. Pause, come on back. Good job. And let's do one more here. Good. Okay. On to our basic upper body strength here. We're going to start off with our seated row. I like to wrap that band around my feet. I'm going to do a side view for you guys here so you can see a bit better. I sit forward in my feet a little bit so I can sit up nice and tall. And I'm going to be rowing my boat, really drawing my elbows back and squeezing my shoulder blades together and making sure that your shoulders are staying down. They're not drifting up towards your ears up there. I want to make sure that I'm engaging the back by squeezing those shoulder blades together and keeping them nicely down. Good job. If you're doing these at home, I mean, feel free to count. I never do when I'm teaching just because I'm so busy talking, but I usually work anywhere between 10 to 15 repetitions and around 3 sets, usually, depending on how your shoulders are and what we're using these exercises for. And nicely back, really squeeze those shoulder blades. And one more. Good job. Let's do the opposite, which is the chest press. So I bring that around my back. I like to keep it tucked under my arms, that band. Starting off now at the chest, so nicely in by my armpits here. And I'm going to maintain that good posture and pushing straight out. And slowly back. Nice lines here. You can see again, my posture stays good. I'm not curling forward or pushing forward like that. My shoulders are staying away from my ears and I've got good posture there. Show the front view here. Straight out from the armpits. We've got a bit of pause and slowly back. Good. Control the release. All right. And let's do a couple more. And on to bicep curls. This time, I'm standing on my band. Well, I've got my feet on my band anyways. And I'm going to be doing a nice curl with my bicep here. That means my elbows stay tucked. I'm hinging at the elbow, coming straight up, slowly release. Nice and slow and controlled. I'm never rushing these exercises. Posture and quality of movement. You guys are going to hear me talk about it every time. Maybe you're sick of it, but I'm going to keep on talking about it. Nice hinge at the elbow here. I'm going to show you a side view. Important thing here is that the elbows are staying nicely tucked into the sides and I'm not drifting forward like that and I'm not picking up, right? I'm going to keep those elbows tucked and I'm going to slowly come on back down. If this is straining your back at all, maybe just do one arm at a time. There's nothing wrong with that. If you feel like you're straining too much and your form is not good doing both hands. All right, let's do our tricep extension. So I'm going to hold the band in one hand, bring it across to my opposite shoulder. I'm going to take one of the tails of the band here, and I'm going to, again, keep the elbow tucked and straighten my arm nicely down. Control the release. I'll show you guys the side view here. Elbow stays tucked. Bring that arm straight down. Slowly on back. Good job. Nicely down, slowly up. Feeling a bit of a shake, maybe, and you have to control that release. That's okay. Working those triceps, the back of the upper arm here. Let's switch sides. So hold the band now in your other hand. Bring it across to your opposite shoulder. I know this is one where people get a little bit dyslexic sometimes. That's okay. We're holding it across to our opposite shoulder, holding high grip on that tail. Elbow stays tucked. Straighten the arm out. Like that from the side. Nice and slow. Good controlled movement here. Okay. Controlled movement. Nice and slow. What I mean by that is you're not just sitting here bouncing a band around, because we're not going to get the same strength benefits than if we are really controlling that elastic force there. Good job. All right. So for our core exercise today, tried this out a little bit in my office, but we're going to try it out here too. We're going to do a bit of a lateral movement here in the semi-reclined position. So I'm going to try and see if I can show you guys this properly to the side. So I'm sitting a little further forward in my seat. I'm going to be nice and engaged in through my core here. So what that means is I'm engaging transverse abdominis, that corset muscle that attaches nicely in like this. And that kind of just means I'm really holding myself together. You should do a review of transverse abdominis again sometime, but nicely activated through here. I'm not sucking in my gut or anything, but I'm just holding myself really nice. I'm going to semi-recline, and I'm going to have my hands to the side here. I'm going to keep my feet on the floor actually. And what I want to do here is, while I'm semi-reclined, I'm going to kind of bring my hand down towards my feet slowly. I'm semi-reclined, so I'm kind of holding myself sideways here. Semi-reclined, and I'm going to do almost this little penguin waddle here while I'm holding that semi-reclined position. Make sure you're still breathing. Maybe check with a hand on your abdomen there to make sure you're not getting any kind of coning or bulging, because that is bad. That means that there's a weakness somewhere in your abdominal wall. Oh, sit up, relax. We're going to do another round of that. It's slow, it's a little different. We're working on laterally bending while we are holding that activation. So big, strong work going on in here. So let's activate nice and tall, strong through the back. If this is too hard, you can come sit a little bit further back and maybe even just having to control and slowly coming back. Don't be a jack-in-the-box that comes popping back up. But even if you're slowly controlling coming back, maybe that's enough. Okay? And thinking about staying nice and activated there. If you can, come further forward in your seat. If you want, you can do this on the floor. A lot of people do this on the floor and just semi-reclined on the floor, but we're going to stay up. I keep my feet on the floor and activate here with semi-reclined, and we are laterally bending, slowly back, and laterally bending the other way, slowly back, remembering to breathe, slowly back. We're working muscles in the back, we're working muscles in the core, we're doing all kinds of stuff here. Slowly back. Careful if you feel this starting to hurt in your back. You want to make it a little easier. So good job. Always very slow, always very controlled, always being really careful with how you're doing those core exercises. We can hurt ourselves very quickly with core exercises when we don't do them properly. So maybe next time we will talk a little bit more about our transverse abdominis and how important that is in keeping our abdominals and our back and everything safe. So let's check in with our balance. We're going to come to our tandem stand here. So that means standing heel to toe and just checking in as we usually do. Do you still need a hand on your chair or on your kitchen counter or wherever you're practicing this? How are you with transferring weight? How's it feel? Switch to the other side, standing heel to toe, and see how you are. Bringing the weight forward, bringing the weight back. How are we doing? All right, good. We should be starting to see improvements with this if you're practicing it twice a week or more. We should be starting to feel a little bit more confident with our balance. Let's go on to our one leg stand, thinking about all the things we want to make sure we're keeping track of here. So have your hand with your chair there if you need to, but if you can do less and less fingers, that's great. Or just have your hand close by. Check in with your hips. And are you activated properly here? Or are you sagging? Here I'm sagging. And I'm going to activate nice and straight there. Okay? Then we're going to give our leg a little bit of a swing. How's that feel? Are your hips able to stay even? Whoop. I'm going to tip over here. I want to see if you can bring that knee up in front of you. And can you bring that knee out to the side? And slowly back down. And you can put your foot down. Let's do the other side. Checking in first. How are we feeling in through the foot? Are we able to really ground through that foot well? How are we through this leg? Are you able to go soft in through that balancing knee? How are we doing? How are your hips? So again, here I'm kind of sagging on through this side here. So I'm going to activate and bring everything up where it should be. This leg is nice and soft. I can give it a little bit of a swing here. And then I'm going to see, can I bring it slowly up? Can I bring it out to the side without hitting my chair there? Can I hold that? And slowly coming on back down, feeling how much our hips have to work when we're balancing properly. If I'm sagging on this side, this hip really isn't doing too much, but if I really want to reap the benefits of doing balance work, I want to activate those hips. That's going to protect my hips, my knees, my back, everything in the long run, and help my balance as I'm walking, all kinds of stuff. So let's think about activating properly. Make your time here worth it. Get those hips activated. So we're going to finish off with our stretches. Let's stretch out our calves first. I'm going to take a big step back with this leg here, sinking forward into the front leg. Really trying to keep that heel down on the floor. My toe is pointing fairly straight forward. And let's do the other side. Heel stays nicely on the floor, sinking forward, feeling that pull in through the back of the lower leg there. I had somebody, I think it was in a class or somewhere, they said, "What's a calf?" Because we talk about stretching our calves, and I said, "Oh, it's a baby cow." And I was so funny. But your calves are two big main muscles in the back of your leg there. Usually we say they're comprised of the two muscles. They're called gastrocnemius and your soleus. They're big, chunky muscles. You have some smaller muscles underneath there as well, but those are typically what we talk about when we're referring to the calf muscles. They are the ones that attach into this Achilles tendon, the calcaneal tendon down at the back of your leg. There. We're going to sit down and stretch out our neck. So having that hand behind our back, or if you want to just keep it down along the chair, that's fine. Ear to the shoulder, holding nicely. You can provide a little bit of guidance here with your other hand, but if you don't need it, that's okay too. Other side, ear to the shoulder. Really relaxed in our stretches. We're never bouncing our stretches. And the other side, nice and slow and relaxed. We kind of use our stretches here as a cool down. Some people do their stretches after their warm up. I think if you're a little bit warmed up, there's really no wrong time to do your stretches. So you shouldn't stretch a cold muscle, but really, as long as we're careful, we're okay. Is it nice to have a warm up? Or, even sometimes I tell people throw a hot pack on there before you do your stretches if we're talking therapeutically. That's great too. Let's do our twist. And the other side. Really thinking about getting our twist all the way from our seat to our crown. Look where you're going. Get the chest involved as we reach for the back of the chair there. Almost trying to get a bit of a chest stretch in through this side here. Good. Good job. Okay. Nice side stretch. Big reach through the ribs there. Fall off your chair, but this one's one that just really feels good to get. Moving a little bit here. Nice little morning stretch, this one. Okay, we're gonna stretch out our glutes. So ankle onto knee, sitting nice and tall. We're never pushing this knee down, and we're, again, sitting tall and hinging forward at the hip a little bit. Feeling that pull in through the glute, side of the leg. Sometimes you feel it on the inside. And the other side, I'll show the side view here. Ankle onto knee, sitting nice and tall, hinging forward. Remembering that if you've had a hip replacement, this is not necessarily an appropriate stretch for you to be doing, but there are stretches you can do to help in through the glutes. But we want to be mindful. Same thing goes to if you've had a knee replacement or if you have any significant joint issues in through the hip or the knee. And if this is hurting you, if you're doing this stretch and you feel any kind of stabbing joint pain, of course, stop and just do a neck stretch or something else while you wait for the next one. Okay? Pain does not equal gain. But we should know there's a difference too between that kind of joint pain and just feeling like my knee is way up here and I'm going, oh, I can't do this, right? Well, that's because things are really tight. We should be able to, with time, help bring those muscles to a little bit more range, allow a little bit more range of motion, sitting nice and tall, hinging forward. Bring your heel in front of you to stretch out your hamstrings. Going to sit nicely forward in our seat, plant the heel, engage the toe towards you, sitting tall, hinging forward slightly. Doesn't take very much to get a really great stretch in through the back of the leg, all the way down. Okay, to the other side. I can keep you guys with the side view here. Plant the heel, engage the toe. Sitting tall, sometimes that's enough to just feel that big pull, but if you can hinge forward at the belly button a little bit, try to make sure you're not collapsing through your chest and just thinking about your toe. Don't even even look at your toe. We fall if we look at our toe. So try staying really nice and upright in through your chest. Do it again. Plant the heel, engage the toe, coming forward, nice and tall. Open through the chest, hinging at the hip. Great hamstring stretch here. This has got to be my favorite way to stretch the hamstring. The other side, plant the heel, engage the toe, sitting tall, and hinging forward. Good stretch. All right. So when you're stretching at home, stretch for 20 to 30 seconds, 2 to 3 times on each side. It is nice to have a bit of a warm-up. But that being said, if you have a spot that you know needs a little bit of extra attention or could benefit from some extra stretches, you can just throw a hot pack on there for a few minutes before too if you want to supplement this a little bit. So I'm going to try my best, like I said before, to keep these videos coming. New ones every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 o'clock. Stay safe, you guys. Make sure you're paying attention to your own body when you're doing these. And if you have any problems, questions, concerns, feel free to contact us here at the office. My name is Anna. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, stay safe and stay healthy. See you soon.